Are we live? Are we live? She was only 16 years old. I will not bury another Bruce Wayne Batman. I really wish I could do Michael Caine. Anyway, hello, we're back. Going for Goldbridge is back. It did well last week, so we're doing another one. Let's see how it goes week to week. But do drop a like on the video. Subscribe to this channel if you're new, the Mark Goldbridge channel. And look, took some of your questions from the YouTube video underneath last week and the Twitter. So same again this week. Get your questions in below. The ones with the most likes will get answered. So we've got some from both. And I have to answer them, so that's how it works. So we'll be going into that. But what we're talking about today... What's in Goldbridge's pocket this week? I tell you what, that should be a show. We could do a show. What's in Goldbridge's pocket this week? Also, United Stand rematch, who we're going to be playing, and Robbie Williams, and a lot more. A lot more. But let's start off with Robbie Williams. Let me entertain you like he does. What a man. What a beautiful man. So, True Geordie did his video yesterday, and in it he mentioned me, which is great to get a shout out on that fantastic channel. And he said that, I hope my eyes didn't drop there in some sort of, I don't really believe it. Did I give some subliminal thing that I don't like the True Geordie thing there? Because I genuinely do. I genuinely do. I thought the video yesterday was, I've done it again. I've done it again. I genuinely do like it. Stop looking down. I genuinely do like it, and I enjoyed the video yesterday. I think the way they did the banter thing with AFT was exactly what it should be all about. But anyway, in that video, it said, True Geordie said, he's not an it, he's a person. He said that Robbie Williams had texted him and said Goldbridge is on form, and apparently he likes me. So, what's my reaction to that? A lot of people have been asking me. Well, my wife's reaction was absolutely fantastic. I just want to say this. My wife said, Robbie Williams can come round our house anytime. Now, I don't know whether that means Robbie's welcome to come and have a game with FIFA with me, or that's when I'm not in. The glint in her eye, I have my suspicions. But look, Robbie, you're welcome round anytime, mate. And that's from the wife, who I've got some questions to answer about, actually, because a lot of you were very interested in her. So I will answer some questions in a moment. But in seriousness, in fact, I am very serious because I'm talking about my wife. But Robbie Williams, he is a beautiful man. I don't know whether I can compete with him. But, actually, Robbie Williams, get a five-a-side team together. I'll take you on. Or you can play on my five-a-side team. So maybe let's get Robbie Williams five-a-side. He can have take that with Gary Barlow. I bet he's rubbish. And I'll get the United Stand five-a-side, and we'll give him a game. But no, look, what do I think about it? If Robbie Williams really does watch me, then obviously that is amazing. And I would love to work with you on your next album. I've got some cracking songs lined up. Some ABBA re-hits and a bit of Queen. But look, my honest answer is going to be that I've done the United Stand for 3 or 4 years now, and always the point of it was interacting with you lot. So if Robbie Williams watches, great. It's a bit of a massage ego, I suppose, but it's no more relevant than any of you watching. And I know that's the political answer, but it's the truth as well. To be honest with you, if people are watching, you're all stars, and that's what I truly believe on that. Anyway, I want to get into some of the Twitter questions as well. Going for Goldbridge, remember it's your chance to put your questions in, and I have to answer them if they get the most likes. So that was that. Let's do a Twitter one first, because I know I can sort of remember from looking at them. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or Maurizio Pochettino? Very easy to answer, Phil. At the moment, I don't need to make a decision. Let's wait till May. How do you think you'd be as a manager? Tactics, philosophy. So I'm a bit old school. I'd go 4-4-2. But I'd have one of the forward players dropping in, because two up front like Dwight and Dwight York. I nearly said Dwight and York. Dwight York and Andy Cole doesn't work. You need to have your midfielder dropping in as a 3. But I would use width, and I would get fullbacks bombing on. Fullbacks bombing on. We'll get them bombing on. Yeah, definitely. All right. Okay. We'll come back to those in a moment. But Mike, you make me laugh. There are some off the YouTube that I need to answer as well. Let's go in on this one. Look, a lot of people said, how do you deal with a lot of the negativity you get? And I get asked this a lot. And you know what? I've got hot air balloon lungs. I've taken so many deep breaths in my life. I need hot air balloon lungs to hold all that air in. But the funny thing is that this is not something that's always... It doesn't always come from your haters. Like, this comes from family members for me. When I moved, look, when I play football, when we played that football match against Arsenal Fan TV, all I had on social media, Goldbridge will be shit, he's all talk. Like these people speak like they know me. And this happens a lot. I don't know nothing about football. I don't go to Old Trafford, even though I've actually been and it's videoed. Oh, he's a Forest fan. Oh, he's this, he's that. All my life, I've had, and I don't. This is not a violin. This is not a sob story because I deal with it absolutely fine. Is my short answer. But I remember when I moved to Dublin when I was 19, and I remember coming back, and my mum was like, "I worry about you. I bet you sat there on your own on the park bench eating your sandwiches at lunchtime, aren't you? Like I've got no friends. Like even my mum doesn't think I can go and make friends. Like, and this is it. Like, there's something about me. It doesn't matter whether it's friend, family, or foe. People just look at me, some people do, and think, oh, he's rubbish at that. Oh, he won't be able to do that. And I've had that all my life. So, you know, even when people you love say stuff like that, and they do it in a nice way, but they have this weird perception, then you do learn to take deep breaths in life. Because if you react to everything, you'll be dead from high blood pressure. So, look, criticism's part of the thing, but it's funny. And actually, it works to my advantage because people, I suppose, underestimate me. As is what happened on that football match. But to be honest, I'm a good footballer. I used to be. My back. Somebody quite right. I was reading some of the comments after the match, and they said, "Why does Goldbridge run around like a glued action man? He's got no flexibility in his body at all." That's what happens when your shock absorbers in your spine erode, and it's quite painful. So I don't have the flexibility of an elastic band, more like a breadstick. But look, I deal with it by taking deep breaths and trying to see. Proving people wrong is also a good motivator, but I wouldn't say that that's how I deal with it. I just take it with a pinch of salt. Talking about which, the United stand. I like doing these because you can take some notes on topical things that you hear. I've heard on good authority, they must know me better than I know me, because apparently they've got it on good official source that there will be an Arsenal Fan TV versus United stand rematch. It will be Goldbridge versus DT rematch, and it's going to happen, and they even know the date it's going to happen. Well, I don't. Because it's not going to happen. It's not happening. We are looking at other games. We are moving forward. But there is possibility for a rematch, but it's not they won't give us the rematch that we want. So we're not doing it. And we won. We won 3-1. At the end of the day, the game had to be abandoned at half time because they had no discipline. It wasn't like it was 3-1, a close game. They would have got beat 9-10-1. Because they had two players get sent off for fighting, and they had a player manager who acted like a complete wally. And there won't be a rematch. There won't be a rematch because they're a team with semi-pros, etc. in it, and we are a YouTube team. I want us to play teams. I've said this, I've spoken to a few people about this. I think there should be a 5 or 6-a-side tournament held at an arena over a weekend where you get 10, 20 YouTube teams, have a big tournament. People can turn up and watch it if they want in the arena, and people get to go and see their people that they watch on YouTube playing games. I don't see the point in the United stand having a team with me stood on the sideline and having to have people like Flex and Rants as subs as we search round for semi-pro players to put a United stand shirt on. That's not the United stand, and that's not what a rematch is. So that's not happening, but we do definitely want to play people. So obviously I've thrown the challenge out to Robbie. True Geordie, apparently we might be getting a game against EXO, which would be great. That's what we're looking at. And I'm not itching my nose because I'm lying. I don't like this black screen background because it exposes me quite a lot, and it makes me feel very aware about what I'm doing with my hand. But just to pick up on that, I was asked about. Look, I'm very bored of the Goldbridge Pocket thing. Who's in my pocket this week? I'll tell you what, I won't be able to get True Geordie in my pocket. It'll batter me. But look, there's the pocket thing it makes me laugh. But I'm bored of that. That is so last year now. I don't think it's going to be last year. I've had it from good authority that apparently it's going to start up again in the next week, probably because United are playing Arsenal. I don't know. All I'd say is I'm available. I've said it to Robbie. Look, if you're going to be doing videos with your mouthpiece gobbing off about bullshit, then I'm available next week. Let's do a proper video and let's see if that happens. That's all I'm saying, because I've always said that. It's a bit like the lottery numbers. The lottery number, they're like buying last week's lottery numbers and then cashing them in when there's a different set of numbers. You're too bloody late. You can't buy the winning lottery numbers after they've been drawn and say you've won. And there was a time when I was interested in that football match. And I was like, straight afterwards, look, people are interested, let's milk it, let's, use it for what it is, which is exposure, which is, I don't have a problem with that. It's like someone when there's a new album out. Like Robbie Williams, he's getting a few shout-outs. If he's got a new album out, he'll be on the Graham Norton show. There's nothing wrong with it. Oh, do people start going, oh, he's only on there because he's selling an album? There's a weird mentality out there that when you're hot, you should sit back and go, no, I'm not going to do any videos about it. I'm not going to milk that popularity, that 7 minutes I've got. And I'm totally disagree with that. I mean, that's what YouTube... Why am I doing this video now? Because people hopefully will watch it and enjoy it. I think there's some bitter bastards out there, to be honest, who... But if this kicks up again next week, between me and DT or AFTV or anything like that, I'll tell you what, I'm going to sleep for a week. I'm bored. I'm bored of it. It's done. It's finished with. And I don't want to go down that route anymore. I'm not doing a rematch that involves him because of the personal stuff that's been said about me that I want an apology for, and that's it. And I'm not so low as I will go publicly and say what has been said privately, because it's private messages. I don't display private messages. If it's a public tweet, fine. But if it's private direct messages or anything like that, I would never stoop so low as to do that, because it doesn't matter how much I dislike somebody, I wouldn't do that. But I have my reasons why I will never do anything with that guy again. However, what I want to say is I used to get on with him okay. He was on the United stand. And to be fair, he's getting like 500,000 views on his fan cams on Arsenal Fan TV. There's something about him that people obviously find watchable. I don't necessarily understand that, but I do respect it as a fellow creator myself. I respect what somebody who is successful and does that, and that's absolutely fine. And I know people who like him. And we used to get on okay. But what happened is we went on a football pitch, he lost his head, and he's got anger issues. And he's got people around him who don't deal with those anger issues. Like Flex filled in for him on a channel, on his daily show that he does on that channel for a month because he was suspended for 4 weeks. Flex did a brilliant job. Flex should still be doing that. But they don't. They remove Flex quite rudely, I think, and they bring him back in because they're all about the views. But he's still gobbing off doing stuff that he's always done. So how are you addressing his problem? That guy will get himself into trouble, I believe, because some of his behaviour after that game, which hasn't been publicly mentioned because we all agreed not to, was disgusting, absolutely disgusting. And a 4-week suspension, I don't think that's very responsible. And this is not me going in on him here. I think he has clearly got anger issues because I've seen them firsthand on numerous occasions. And if he wants to, keep building what he's doing, and he's doing very well at it, then he needs people around him who are going to protect him from that. But they don't. They're all up his arse. They're all like, oh no, you're a bit out of order. Take a couple of weeks off and then come back. When realistically, there should have been some serious repercussions from that. He should be managed properly. But there's too many people around him who are so focused on how many views he's getting that it leaves somebody with anger issues like that in a very, very dangerous position. But like I said, I got on with him okay before. Just so happened, I played a football game against him. He didn't like losing. And it's a bit like taking candy from a baby, isn't it? He's crying about it constantly, can't deal with it. And that's part of growing up. That's part of growing up. You've got to be able to deal. I've had losses in my life. We all have, and that can be bereavement losses, that can be family issues, that can be just losing a game of chess. I don't like losing chess. I hate losing chess. But, you have to accept that. That's what life is all about. So I just I want to move on from it, but I think it's going to continue, which is why I want to play other teams, because I want to move away from that, because it's just when you've won and you've quite clearly won and there's nothing that you can get out of that anymore. For a time it was fun, it was banter, but it's become just something very toxic and negative now. And if it gets regurgitated again, it's just bollocks. You can't dress something up, which is what it was. And that's why I don't want to go back. I want to go forward. But some people just want to regurgitate it. But at the time, they wanted to try and bury it. It is really, really weird. Robbie's Rambles. Somebody said, will you bring Robbie's Brambles back? Robbie's Ramble is not me and AFTV Robbie having a chat. It was Robbie, my dog, going for a walk. And I used to do videos of that. If people want it to come back, I'm interested in doing that, certainly. Let's talk about my wife. I don't want to. I will answer the questions you ask me if they get the most votes. So you must have an understanding wife who's very patient for all. I think that's just based on what people think of me, really, which is a fair point. But it was developed. They said in relation to all the content that you do, especially around the United stand, because it's every day and the watch-alongs and everything like that. Look, I'll answer that very, very quickly. My wife, I do have a very understanding wife. She's the most important person in my life, and I love her to bits. And I that's not the sort of thing I say on my videos, so I'm just going to move on from it. But yeah, I do. Absolutely 100%. Does she follow football? No. I always say she's an Arsenal fan because she's from down south, but she's not. I never would have married her if I really thought that. But when we were like younger, before kids and everything, we used to go on holiday every year, and especially when the World Cup and the Euros were on, we'd always go away that couple of weeks and we'd just watch all the England matches and get drunk. So and again when the World Cup was on, she was watching it. So I think when there's a major event like the World Cup or the Euros, she'll watch it. But she's not a daily keep an eye on the football sort of thing. I mean, obviously she asks about United because you can't live in my house and not know about United because of all the stuff I do for the United stand. But she's not one of these women who are massively into football and, you know, screaming at the TV or in the stands or anything like that. But she does like it. My middle daughter plays it and she comes along and watches. So yeah. So I have to answer the questions. Do I think De Gea is the best goalkeeper in Manchester United history? I think people have a modern phenomenon in society where everything that's happening now has to be the best. I can tell you now, the 90s is the best period of my life and the best period of life outside my life. The music, what was going on politically, the entertainment, far better than the shit you get now. Society in general just felt warmer. What did we have in the 90s? What do we have now that we didn't have in the 90s? Mobile phones, the internet, we didn't have that. I don't know whether there's any correlation, but Britpop, all that. The 90s were fantastic. And the 90s were also the best period for the Premier League because Manchester United and Arsenal was the best rivalry. And I've seen the Premier League from day one to now. Manchester United and Arsenal were the best rivalry in the late 90s the Premier League's ever had because they were arguably two of the best teams the Premier League's ever had. Manchester United, certainly. It's like last year when people were saying Man City are the best team the Premier League's ever had. It's bollocks. It's just modern clickbait bullshit to make you think that your time is the best time because everyone wants to live in the best time, but we're not living in the best time. We're not. And David De Gea is not the best goalkeeper Manchester United have ever had. Peter Schmeichel is, because Peter Schmeichel did brilliant things in bigger games because Manchester United were a better team. And you could argue, well, De Gea's doing it in a worse team, so he's a better goalkeeper. But look, Schmeichel was better. I say that with total and utter conviction. De Gea could be better, but he's got to do more. And he's got to win more. And he needs a better team around him. Because we're not going deep enough in tournaments for his saves, and we're not going deep enough in Premier League races for his saves to be as symbolic as they are. You know, he played brilliant against Tottenham, but it's 1-0 and it's third against 6th. You know, Peter Schmeichel, everyone talks about the season we won the double in 96, whereby Cantona came back from his ban around October time, and then Newcastle were 12 points clear, and between January and May we reeled them in and we won the title, and we were winning a lot of games 1-0. I remember the Newcastle game in particular. Schmeichel was absolutely unworldly in that game. You know, Cantona I think scored the winner, but Newcastle had loads of chances, and Schmeichel was amazing. Now you compare that to De Gea's performance against Spurs or De Gea's performance against Arsenal 18 months ago. They were great performances by De Gea, but he hasn't done what Schmeichel did, where it was a top of the table clash away from home. We win 1-0 and Schmeichel is on another planet. So look, I know Schmeichel went and played for Man City and we all want to say De Gea, and I want to say De Gea, but factually Schmeichel was better. Anyway, please do drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Remember, this show is going to be really dictated by the questions that you ask and what gets the most likes. So leave your questions below under the video. The ones with the most likes will get answered next week. And also on Twitter, follow me on Twitter at Mark Goldbridge, because I do put a tweet out at the weekend. And again, like all these ones here, they get answered. I'll just quickly answer Steve E's because I've answered this before. He says Liverpool champions and United top 4, or United 6th and Liverpool 2nd. Liverpool champions and United top 4. I don't want Liverpool to win the league, but I don't want United to be in the Emmerdale Cup. And I'm not sacrificing our and Ollie's success to stop Liverpool winning the league. If Liverpool win the league, they deserve to win the league. If Liverpool win the league, it's because United failed to stop them. And if Liverpool win the league, then maybe United will take it as a kick up the arse to sort out what's going on in the board level and spend some real bloody money. So no, I don't want to be in the Emmerdale Cup just to stop Liverpool winning the league. And obviously I don't have the power of that anyway, but if I did, I'd say let Liverpool win the league and we get top 4, because our progress is more important than stopping other people, as much as I don't want Liverpool to win the league. Please do subscribe if you're new, drop a like on video and get involved. And remember, this is what this show's all about. If you ask the questions, I'll answer them. That's the way it's going to work. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks everyone for watching. And the podcast will be back on Friday for a second podcast. The first one went well. If you've not watched it, you can on this channel. I think I'm going to talk about Gillette. That's one topic I'm going to talk about on the podcast, because it's not non-football stuff. That's going to be an interesting chat. Thanks for watching.